Welcome back. 52 weeks. It is all gaming here in this place. We're gonna send it over right about now. Okay, so this week is Supermarket Shriek, which I know nothing about except for the fact that it involves a man and a goat and a shopping cart, and that's about it. And I'm guessing shrieking in some form, but we will find out. So stay tuned and we'll see just how bad at it I am. So Supermarket Shriek is a game developed by Billy Goat Entertainment and was initially released on Xbox, then came out on the Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4. The game is very unique because it has your two characters, a man and a goat, inside of a shopping cart, and you are propelled through the levels by their voices, or more specifically, their screaming, ergo the shriek, and you use different buttons on the controller in order to go and control one or the other or both at the same time, and having to navigate various obstacle courses, collect different items throughout the levels, or do some races, ultimately involving different stores and supermarkets and really saving what you want to go and save. Has a ton of different levels, which you can get 1, 2, or 3 stars depending on times or certain criteria that need to go and be met. They do have a duet mode involving the microphone, which is very, very interesting. They also go and have some of the adaptable controller buttons, so it doesn't involve the triggers, but instead the A and the B button on Xbox, for example. There are some parody levels as well as online leaderboards and downloadable ghosts, because it is a racing game, to go and see really who is the fastest on each level. But I'm going to go and now send it over to Nick, because I'm sure that he has some very specific ideas on thoughts on the game. So this week was Supermarket Shriek, and it's a game that at first I had no idea what to expect, but once I actually got into it, it's the type of game I don't like, is essentially what it is. Doesn't mean that it's a bad game by any stretch. It's just something, and the controls for it and the way that the whole game plays out is something that I am not a fan of. It's there with like sports games and fighting games, as far as like the type of game that I'm not a big fan of or really enjoy, and that's my own doing. And again, that doesn't mean the game is bad, because you have all these different levels and you control both this one guy and this goat screaming and kind of navigate this cart around these obstacle courses or a race or collecting items, and it's all very precise on how you need to go and move the cart and how you go and control it. And so if you can figure out the controls, because it's kind of like a racing game, if you can figure out the controls well enough, then you're fine. You'll go and won't have any sort of issue with it, won't have any issue navigating the levels or getting 3 stars on each one. And they have co-op abilities, so you can kind of work together with someone or against someone, I guess, because you have to have really good teamwork to be able to pull off some co-op stuff. And it's just something that I'm not the biggest fan of, and that's all there really is to it. And so I don't know what else I should say about it. It's a fun game. I did enjoy it, but the amount of times that I got stressed out by it were a lot. I really got stressed out by it most of the time, and so it's something that you have to kind of like take it super slow and easy, because the levels do get progressively harder. And so it is something that you need to kind of accept and understand going into it. But I think as far as the overall uniqueness of the game, the feel of it, the art, the music, everything about it is a good game, just not something that I'm particularly a fan of. Okay, so a bit of both. So who would want to go and play something like this? I think people who like racing games would probably be big fans of this sort of thing because of the controls. It's kind of, you can also do it as like a weird party game because of having the co-op mode. And people who really like those unique indie games would be the people that I would say should go and play this game. Those groups probably would get the most enjoyment out of it. Do you think that you're going to keep playing this game in the future at all? Yeah, I don't think I'm going to keep playing it, again, because of how it is overall, and how I don't like this sort of style of game. It's not something I really see myself completing as much as I would love to, and that there's always going to be that incomplete. It's just super difficult once it gets later, and I do not have the mental capacity to be patient enough to complete it, if that makes sense. So, great game, just not for me.